Well, we're going to get started with our cooking class. We promised this with tasting, vegetarian tasting, and Evelyn's going to demonstrate a loaf and then a gravy.
Yes. So first we'll start with our cashew rice roast. Both of these recipes are coming from the Optimal Diet Cookbook. This is the official CHIP cookbook, and CHIP is a program that, I don't know, maybe we'll mention a little bit more about it later. But I'll go ahead and get started. So our first ingredient that we're going to use is brown rice. This is 2 cups of brown rice, and it's cooked. So we're going to go ahead and put that in our mixing bowl. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of cashew nuts. Now this is 1 cup of whole cashew nuts that I just grinded up in the blender. They can be fine, they can be coarse, whichever you like. We've tried both ways and it's worked. So I'm going to add that in our bowl, as well as 2 cups of breadcrumbs. This is whole wheat breadcrumbs.
Evelyn, tell me about these breadcrumbs. Did you make them from scratch?
Yes, so my mom makes homemade bread, and this, we just toasted it until it was pretty dry, and then we just blend it up in the blender to make breadcrumbs.
Okay.
That's homemade breadcrumbs right there. And then we're going to add in 2 cups of non-dairy milk. This is homemade cashew milk, but you can use any milk that works for you. So. All right, so all of those. And now we're going to add in 1 cup of chopped onions. This is really coarsely chopped. They're going to cook, so it's going to be nice and soft. And then we're going to add in our seasonings. So for our seasonings, I'm using ½ teaspoon of sage and 2 tablespoons of dried parsley flakes. You can also use any chicken seasoning, chicken-like seasoning that you like. This works for us, so put that in, and as well as 2 tablespoons of liquid aminos. This is from Bragg, and this is like a soy sauce alternative. It's a much healthier alternative, so we'll go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of that. And this will take care of the salt in the recipe too. So now we're just going to go ahead and mix all of that together.
So while you're mixing, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a junior in high school, and I started cooking since I was, I don't know, maybe around 10. And I like making experiments in the kitchen. This is not one of my experiments. This is an actual recipe, but yeah, kitchen is definitely my second home. So.
Those of you that watch Tasting, Vegetarian Tasting, one of her experiments was the
chocolate ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you like to do when you're not in the kitchen?
I play piano. My mom is a piano teacher, so I like to play piano. I like doing a lot of craft art, that type of stuff. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So.
Okay. What's your experiment you're working on now?
Right now I'm still trying to make a healthy chocolate cake. So that's refined sugar-free. So I'm still working on that one. Maybe it'll come up.
Excellent. All right.
All right, so I think this is mixed in. We're going to put it in a casserole dish, 9x13 casserole dish or something like that. And we're going to bake it on 350 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes. So let's see. And this is lightly oiled. So you can use a regular cooking spray, oil spray for oiling that, or you can use what I did, which I put olive oil in the dish a little bit, and then I spread it around with a napkin, whichever works for you.
So when would you serve this loaf?
To me, it's similar to a holiday loaf. So if you have like Christmas or some holiday coming up and you wanted a healthy alternative to a holiday loaf, this could be that alternative. Doesn't have to be just for holidays. We eat it all the time. So that's how we eat it. So for lunch, for dinner.
All right. So now you're going to put that in the oven and after it bakes, we'll be right back.
Yes. All right, so now I'm back with my gravy. So this is a vegan gravy that can also be gluten-free, and I'll tell you a little bit that later. We're first going to start with our saucepan, and we're going to add in 4 cups of water. So it's right here. That's the base of our gravy. So we're going to put that on the stove, and we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of Bragg's liquid amino seasoning, and we have 2 tablespoons of oil, which is optional. My mom uses that every time she makes the gravy. And again, this is the same Bragg's seasoning that I mentioned for the cashew roast. So we're going to mix that in. And then to that, we're going to add half a cup of whole wheat flour. Now you can use all-purpose gluten-free flour as well. That's worked for us. And this is our thickener. So we're going to mix that in. This is a really easy gravy recipe. And then to this, we're going to add in our vegan chicken-like seasoning. The one that I'm using today is from Trader Joe's. It's called vegan chicken-less seasoning salt. If you do use this, don't use salt because it's really salty. It's also a very strong flavor. Another common chicken seasoning that people use is McKay's. You could also use beef-like seasoning if you like that. So I'm just going to add that in. And we've actually tried it instead of using the chicken seasoning, we just use salt sometimes if we don't have any chicken seasoning. And that actually works too. It doesn't have as much of a strong flavor, but it still works nice. So I'm just going to whisk this until it's nice and thick. And whisk is great to use because it'll prevent lumping in the gravy.
So tell me about the olive oil that you're using.
Right, so the olive oil that I'm using is the extra virgin olive oil. It's unfiltered. So that's a much healthier alternative and has everything in it, all the nutrients, better fat.
What are some of the different ways you've used this gravy?
So this gravy, you can use it on mashed potatoes. That's definitely something we use a lot for. Right now I'm using it for cashew rice roast. You can use it really for any loaf or any roast that you normally would use gravy for. But those are the 2 main things that we use gravy. So.
Okay.
Watch this.
You want it up a little bit?
Maybe. Yeah.
All right. So what will you have for Christmas this year?
In terms of
food.
Oh, I don't really know. We don't necessarily have a traditional.
Don't have it?
Sometimes we have mashed potatoes. That's definitely something that we have a lot. Yeah, it's really just whatever we come up with.
Well,
An
maybe
apple pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Yeah.
That's something we have
Yep.
every Christmas.
And a better question might be, what did you guys have for Thanksgiving?
For Thanksgiving, what did we have for Thanksgiving? It seems like such a long time ago. We had, a traditional dish that we usually have is tofu turkey, or vegan alternative to turkey. We didn't make that was store-bought. But we had that. We had sweet potato souffle. So that's one of my favorite Thanksgiving dishes that sometimes we have for Christmas too. To be honest, I don't remember everything we had for Thanksgiving. It went by really quick. Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about some things that we can do in the future for recipes. So what's your favorite soup recipe? We're talking about doing a soup month maybe.
Yeah, so to be honest, I'm not a huge soup fan, but I do love corn chowder and pumpkin soup. Those 2 are my absolute favorite soups.
All right.
Maybe those will come up sometime.
Maybe they will. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Again, this gravy recipe is from the chip book, The Optimal Diet. And this is one of our favorite cookbooks. It has a lot of good recipes in there. They're all healthy. So.
Yeah, this cookbook, again, is the original chip cookbook for, and CHIP stands for Complete Health Improvement Program. And for those of you that are watching this in December, we're getting ready to start a CHIP program in January. January the 11th is our first night, but there's some info sessions. You'll be able to see an info session online at centervillechip.com. And there's some info sessions that are happening live here at Centerville Seventh-day Adventist Church. Those are going to be on December 20 and 27 and January 4th. So if that's something you're interested in, you or one of your family members, you know somebody that really could benefit from a health improvement program, you can go online to that Centerville CHIP and see some testimonials of some people that it's made some life-changing improvements in their health. So you guys did some radical changes in your lifestyle over the last few years, didn't you?
We did.
Yep.
Yep. And CHIP, actually, we when we first moved here, my dad and once in a while us, my brother and I, we would go to the CHIP session as one of the, I don't know if you call it staff members, but table
one
leaders.
of the table host volunteers.
And so I remember a little bit of that. I was really young, so I don't remember a lot of the information and stuff that was going on, but I do know that it was really interesting to see the difference it made in people's lives and how their health, it was just really fun to watch. And I mean, we definitely, that helped us to make some changes in our health and our lifestyle. This is getting thicker, so it's definitely close. Once it starts thickening up, it's really gonna thicken up fast, so you might want to watch that.
It's getting mighty close, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So again, if you're interested, please go to CHIP, Centerville CHIP, that's CentervilleChip.com, and you'll find more information as well as our phone number. And give us a call if you have questions. So maybe I should recruit you for a volunteer. All right. All right, let's let me grab your loaf.
All right, and maybe a serving spoon will be nice too.
Yep.
Sieve it out. I think we can probably stop this. So, does that work?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you got it.
All right, so we'll go ahead and scoop some of this gravy on.
Oh, that looks great. Oh, yeah.
It is really good.
Yeah.
And there you have it, cashew rice roast with gravy.
All right, we have the Wagner family here, and Amanda and Dylan. Dylan, introduce your family to us, please.
Well, yes, you already said my name's Dylan. This is Amanda. This is Johan, our oldest son, Evelyn, and Desmond.
All right, and what are you going to make for us today?
We are going to make, do you know what it's called?
It is a vegetable loaf of some type.
Yep, it is a holiday vegetable loaf.
All right,
So
and the children are going to help you with
they
this
are,
one?
they're going to help us. So
All
we'll see how this goes. So you guys want to help me out here? So you guys, we're going to go ahead and pour our vegetables into the bowl. Thank you. All right, Johan, can you pour that in there? We have some broccoli, and now we have some red bell pepper. And then Evie's going to do the onion. So this is a super, super easy recipe. I grew up with it, and so now I am passing it on to them. That's good. Thank you. Here, Johan, can you do the mushrooms? All right. And then Evie, the vegan cheese. So just use your favorite vegan cheese in there. And then we have some veggie meat. So just, yeah, you can pour that one. And then, Evie, do you want to do this one? Yeah, do that one. Yep, just pour it in there and make sure it goes in the bowl. Okay. And then once it's all in there, we're going to mix it all up. So,
Can I mix it all up?
you can try, yeah.
Not
Add
just
it
your
on there.
favorite vegan mayonnaise?
Yes, this is, yeah, you can use veggies, you can use just your favorite vegan mayonnaise.
Tell me about the, is that a soy product? What kind of?
Yeah, so this is the Simple Truth brand from Kroger.
Okay.
So we put those in there.
It's like a chicken patty.
Yeah, like a
Soy
chicken patty.
So then you just broke it up.
Yeah, I broke it up into, yeah, you can use like a vegan chicken patty, anything that's like a chicken meat you can use in there. So it's pretty, yeah, whatever is your favorite, just use in there.
Evelyn, how much of this can you eat? Can you eat a lot of this? Is this your favorite? No? How about Johan? Do you like this one?
Johan loves it.
Yeah. It looks wonderful. I can't wait to try it.
All right, you got it? Okay. Yeah, I know. It's not, Evie has way too many vegetables for her, but she's my picky one.
That happens. You make up for Evie.
And so this is garlic powder and then onion powder. You want to do this one, Johan? And let Johan do that one? Okay. Go ahead and put it in there. Thank you. All right, you got that mixed up? Get it nice and mixed up. And so after that's mixed really well, we're going to go ahead and get our pastry here. I'm using this brand here. It's Wawalka. The ingredients are good. It's vegan, so just find a vegan pastry, and we're going to roll that out. Let me move this out of the way. I'll go ahead and roll it, and then you guys can help me wrap it up. Okay?
I want to wrap it up.
All right. You can help me. Okay. Did you want to help, Dylan?
How you doing, Evie?
Here, Evie.
You doing all right?
You got it?
Want Daddy to help a little?
Okay, Dylan, you want to roll this here?
Sure.
Okay, just kind of, it got a little bit soft here,
All right.
so it might stick because it was in the refrigerator. But just roll it to the side as much as you can. Here, I'll hold it down and you roll it.
Okay. So you want this to be in the refrigerator for a while?
Yeah, before you take it out, make sure it's in the refrigerator so it doesn't
Okay.
stick too much. And if it sticks too much, I would use a little flour on the rolling pin.
Yeah.
I don't have any right here, but
So basically,
definitely use the flour.
so how
if it
big are we
sticks.
rolling this out?
So it's mostly, I need it wider.
Okay.
Yeah, got it? Move this out of the way.
This may be a...
Okay. Yep, that's good on that side.
Okay.
And then you can do a little bit on this side. Yeah, I'll hold it over here.
All right.
Got it? All right, that's good.
Okay.
So now we're going to put the vegetables.
Can I do it?
You want to help pour it? Okay, hold on a second.
I can do it.
You can, yeah, you can. Let me go ahead and mix it here. A little bit more, just to make sure. And then you're going to help pour it, okay?
Yeah, but can you hold the bowl?
Yes, and then you're going to pour it right in the middle. Okay? Oh, close. Okay. So if you have your kids helping, it might get a little messy, but we'll fix it up here.
Looks amazing.
Okay. Okay, let me have this. Thank you. Okay. So that's going to go like that. And then I'm going to fix it up here because it's a little messy. So we're going to get it as much in the middle as possible because we're going to want to wrap this up. Okay, so this got pretty messy, but it will still work. Yeah, you can help me wrap it. Okay, so I need a knife. Can you get me a knife, babe?
You want a big one or a little one?
That works, yeah.
This will work.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna,
Let's turn it sideways.
let me see, have that real quick. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and cut slits on the sides. So I do about 12 slits.
So that they can see how she's doing the slits. That's right, turn it all the way around, then they can see the slits. There we go, perfect.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, so then I'm gonna turn it here, all the way around. Sorry, Johan, it's not that, okay.
Johan sure does like this. He eats it like, eats as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
So you going just straight 90 degrees, or doesn't really matter what, you going
Yeah,
on an angle a little
no,
bit?
it's just because I'm over here, but it,
Okay.
yeah, it's not a huge deal. So we're just gonna make about 12. Yep, and so now they're gonna help me wrap it up. So we're gonna go, Johan, you start on this side, and then Evie, you start on this side, okay? And you meet Johan in the middle.
Mommy, but you're just
Let's turn this real quick.
this side.
Okay, you do this side over here with Johan, okay? All right, and then we're gonna put it over. Yep. Yep, just like that. So make sure it crosses over each other. Otherwise, when it cooks, it's gonna come apart. So you have to make sure it crosses over both sides. So come all the way over. Yep, that's perfect, Evie. He's doing it just perfect. Yep, he's doing really well. Yep, all the way over, like that. Good job. Yep. Yeah, it's good.
Mommy, there's not one here.
Yep, just so you have to meet up with Evie's, like that. Okay.
Somehow it reminds me of hollow bread or something.
Mm-hmm. Except with veggies inside of
veggies,
it.
Kind of that
Yep,
braided
I'm gonna
look
help you
anyway.
guys, okay? Johan. Okay, let's go ahead and meet up right here in the middle.
Tell me how you came up with this recipe.
Well, my mom said she found it in a magazine and just made it vegan. It wasn't vegan originally, but she made it vegan, and so she has no idea what magazine or where it came from exactly, but we grew up with it, so it's pretty much just in my brain, and because I grew up with it, so yeah.
And this would be a good option for Christmas.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
just a
yeah.
pretty braid. We'll show you guys here
Yes.
how it's gonna look.
You guys make a good team.
Don't do that. All right, good job. Yeah, you're almost done. Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and show the finished product here of what it's supposed to look like.
So after you bake it,
We're going to cook this at 350 for about 30 minutes. So just watch it. When it starts getting kind of brown on top, you know it's
That
ready.
is awesome.
Yeah, holiday
That
vegetable
looks
wrap.
wonderful. Holiday vegetable wrap.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Well, Annie, you're going to do a cheesecake for us. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Annie. I'm a medical doctor. I've been living here in Kettering for a couple years, and I'm currently in a period of transition applying for residency, and I recently got married. So I'm sort of living this housewife life right now, really enjoying cooking, venturing back into the kitchen, experimenting with a lot of vegan recipes.
What do you do outside of your career and cooking?
So outside of that, well, I'm very passionate about lifestyle medicine, both inside the classroom, you could say, as well as on my free time. I'm very passionate about exercise, nutrition, cooking, of course. So that's a little bit about myself.
Good. We will incorporate your talents into our next CHIP program.
Thank
So
you.
we're getting ready to start that in January. So those of you that are watching, CHIP starts in January. Look forward to seeing you then. All right, show us your cheesecake.
Sure. So this is a raw vegan cheesecake. I think it's a wonderful recipe because it's so easy, quick to make, and very versatile. Essentially, you can make this cheesecake any time of the year, and you can even tweak it to make it more of a chocolate flavor, or if you prefer berries like this one right here for the summer. I recently tried this recipe with pumpkin in it as well, so it's actually really neat. To start off, I want to begin with the crust of this cheesecake. For the crust, we will begin with about 1 cup of walnuts. You can substitute the walnuts actually for pecans, any type of nut alternative. Also, we will be having about half a cup of dates, as you can see here. So we mix that together. Let's say this is about half a cup here. And so we want to mix this along with a little bit of sea salt, just a pinch like that. And then you can add a little bit of, if you want, vanilla extract or anything to give it a more flavor. And so that you actually toss into this blender, and otherwise you can actually mash it up and then press it onto the mold. We actually have the mold here. This is already prepared, as you may see. But the crust should be roughly 1/2 inch to 1 inch in thickness. And so afterwards, you can actually place it in the freezer to set there for a couple minutes as you proceed with the rest of the recipe. And so then, to begin with the cheesecake filling, we start with about 1/2 cup of this coconut milk. This is already 1/2 cup here, pre-measured. So again, you can use a blender, a food processor. Next, we have what gives that creamy flavor to the cheesecake. And in this case, we're going to be using silk tofu. This right here is the brand Nasoya Organic Silken Tofu. It's wonderful, very, very creamy. Also, you can use cashews. I've also seen other recipes that have a vegan cream cheese. So it's roughly about the same measurement. Again, 1 cup. So you toss that in there. All right, next we have the vanilla. So for the vanilla, you may use 1 teaspoon of this. And I have to be honest, I never really follow recipes to the T. And it's a good thing in this case because this recipe is very forgiving. So I'm all about testing, sampling towards the end and making sure that it's the right flavor. So because this is, again, a raw cheesecake, there's no need to be adding any baking soda, baking powder, anything like that. So it's actually quite simple. So after the vanilla extract, we will be using about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So I have that here. Toss that in there.
Take a step this way. Perfect.
Okay. Then, after the lemon juice, we can use berries. And again, whatever you feel like going for, either strawberries, blueberries, even if you wanted to make it more citrusy, using oranges. In this case, of course, we're going to be using berries. I like to have it more of a pink color, so I toss in many of these strawberry pieces here, as much as you'd like. And then that's actually about it. You have your vanilla, lemon juice, coconut milk, and again, the silken tofu or the cashews. And you mix that all up in the blender. As such. All right, here we go. Okay, and the consistency should be very creamy. Even if it's not as thick as you'd like, because this will all be going in the freezer, it actually does get quite dense. So this is somewhat how it looks like. This is a little bit more diluted, but again, don't worry too much about the thickness, because once it's in the freezer for several hours, it actually becomes very dense. And so this right here is the finished product. This particular cheesecake has been in the freezer now for about 3 hours. Ideally, you want to have it there for 5 hours, and that way it's very, very dense. It's neat to have a mold like this where you can pop it open and voila, there it is right there. You see it's very creamy. You can pop in little decorations such as these sliced strawberries and blueberries, but this is very delicious and versatile, so I hope you all enjoy the recipe.
So how often do you make this?
So I make this about maybe every 2 months or so.
Okay. Any special occasions?
Definitely a great option for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
For the summer, any time of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.